Okay, so today we're going to get to grips with the sewing machine. I'm going to give you a little guided tour of my machine, which is my beloved Elna. I bought in Norway, probably in the mid-90s at some point. I had an Elna before, which was my mother's, and when I needed to replace that, I decided to go with the same brand. It's a pretty standard machine, pretty simple machine. It's got quite basic stitches, and today we're going to have a little look at what this machine does. So it has two of these little thread stands at the top where your thread can go. This particular machine has a very simple threading system. But before we thread the machine, I'm going to show you how to put thread on your bobbin. This is a bobbin, it's a plastic one. They also come in metal. The bobbin stand is here for winding thread onto the bobbin. The way you thread the machine to do the bobbin is usually the same on most machines. It can vary slightly with the number of hooks you feed it through. Also, some machines have a thread holder which is here. That usually gives you a different way of feeding the thread into the bobbin threader. But in this case, it's pretty simple. The bobbin goes on here, and then you take your thread, and in this case pull it through this little screw here. It kind of sits there quite nicely, and then you can either wind it around the bobbin like this, or some people prefer to thread it through this little gap in the bobbin here, so the thread sticks up like this. It's up to you really. I kind of prefer to just wind it around a couple of times like this, and then I'm good to go. Now on this machine you pull the bobbin stand towards this screw here, so you get a little click, and then to stop the needle from moving, there's a little wheel on the side. Give it a twist so it clicks and the needle stands still. And then all you need to do is put your foot on the pedal. And you can see the thread goes up and down onto the bobbin and evenly disperses. So you put as much thread as you want to, or you can just fill the bobbin with thread so that you've got it ready. Once you're done, take it off and snip the thread. And there's your thread on the bobbin. Now we're going to put that to the side, and now we're going to thread the machine. So the first thing you want to do is twist the wheel so it clicks back. Now the needle is free to move, and this handle there, or little alien head as I like to call it, is free to move up and down. Most machines have a standard way of threading. They can vary ever so slightly, as I said before, but usually it's pretty much the same. Some machines will have somewhere along here that you will thread this through first. Mine doesn't, so mine is quite simple. It even has little indicators. There's an arrow telling you kind of where to go. I would assume the instruction manual also told you how to thread it, but I don't own that anymore, so there we go. But most machines are quite similar. What's quite standard is that there's a hook here for the thread to go into, and then there's a tension bit here for the thread to go through on the inside. This releases or tightens the thread depending on thickness of thread and thickness of fabric. And then it goes down, and there's a little U arrow, and it goes up and into the little alien head that bobs up and down, and then back down and into this little bar here. So that's where we're going now. So we're going to start by hooking into this loop and then pulling it down. Inside here there's a little blade, or two little blades, that will keep the tension on the thread. And then you go around the loop, up here and into the alien head, and you can see the thread is actually in the little hole there, and then back down again. It's quite handy to keep that arm or lever all the way up. If it's down here somewhere, then you can't quite see it, and you probably won't pull your thread through it either. So keep it up there. That also keeps the needle in a good position, and then slide it into this bar at the bottom, and now your thread is good and ready. There's another little hook here that you can put your thread through like this. I don't tend to use that one, and I don't really see any difference when I do or I don't. For the sake of doing it now, I'm going to leave it like this, so I'm going to use all the threading options. And then the last thing to do is to thread your needle, which can be quite tricky. And this needle is very fine, so the hole is quite small. So I'm going to see if I can do this without too much hassle. The thread went straight through, there we go. And now your machine is fully threaded at the top. Time to do the bobbin. Now mine comes with a little case that you pull off. Some have a little lid here where you drop the bobbin into. Most machines tend to have a little opening here that you put your bobbin thread into. This is the bobbin case, and that's the bobbin. Now there's a couple of things to notice. This bobbin case has a little arm that sticks up like this and a little handle that you can hold on to. On the inside it's just the fitting for the bobbin. The bobbin, once you've threaded it, you want to hold the bobbin so that the thread is up and going clockwise, not pointing at down and anti-clockwise. So you want it on the top and going clockwise. And then you want the arm on the bobbin case to point up. I'm going to hold it with this, and then you pop it into place. On the side of the bobbin case there's a little gap that you then pull the thread through and all the way back into this open gap at the back there. And your bobbin case and bobbin thread is in place. Now you want to put it in, and you want the arm to point upwards. And as long as this arm on the machine is at the very top setting, this will fit. If it's down or in the middle here somewhere, this won't fit because there's a little gap that needs to fit this arm here, or this little pointy bit. So there we go, and it's in place. I can close this little door and put the little chest back on. But we're not quite done yet. We need to fish the bobbin thread up through the little sort of foot bit there. And you do that by twisting an entire rotation so that comes back up to the top, and then pull this thread, and there's your bobbin thread underneath. Now, a good tip is to always start sewing with this arm in its top right position and the threads pulled backwards like this. If your threads are pointing forwards, and if the top thread isn't inside the foot, you will probably run into trouble. You'll have knots, you'll have tangles. So keep them pointing backwards. That also gives you something to hold on to when you're sewing, so you can actually grab on here and guide the project through as you're sewing. Now a little bit about the rest of the machine here. I mentioned the tension. This one goes from 0 to 9, and I usually keep it on about a 7, unless I'm using top stitch thread. So the higher the number, the tighter the hold on the thread. If you're using a thicker thread, then you might want to loosen the tension a little bit. These are the stitch lengths. There's a little wheel here that indicates the length of the stitches. So it goes from 0 to 4 and then up to stretch. 0 being the blue bit, which is the buttonhole, which corresponds to the parts of the buttonhole stitches found here. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, which I believe is millimeter stitch length, but I'm not entirely sure if that's correct. And then you've got the stretch stitch in yellow, which again corresponds to the yellow bits on this bit here. This indicator is the type of stitch, and this is the length. I normally keep it to about 2, 2.5, depending on what I'm sewing and what kind of thread I'm using. Top stitch thread, I will pull it all the way up to the highest number, about 4. But yeah, 2 to 3 is kind of good for regular thread. And then there's the different types of stitches. There's a whole buttonhole on this one, so you can literally make an entire buttonhole just by changing between these settings here. And then you have straight stitch, and you can also have a straight stitch which moves the needle over to the side. I'll explain about that one later. Then we have zigzag. We have different forms of zigzag, and we have something that looks a little bit like an overlocker or a serger stitch at the end. So those are the settings there. This button does the return, and then there's the wheel on the side that you can move the needle up and down with to kind of finish off stitches. And that's pretty much it for the settings. Right here is the little twist bit that undoes the needle, unscrews the needle, so you can change the needle. And then there's the lever that pulls the foot up and down, and it also has a function where you can push it up to make more space between the foot and the plate here. And that's quite handy if you do happen to have a knot or it's tangled up somehow, and you need to kind of get in there and cut the threads or anything. And then there are some lines here that indicate seam allowance, both in 1/4 inches or 1/8 of inches and in centimeters, and that is correct only when the needle is in the middle position on a straight stitch. And that's pretty much it for settings. Also comes with a handy little box where you can keep things like your twin needles or your spare sewing needles, seam ripper, thread, tape measure, and spare feet. And that's pretty much it for setting up the machine. Now it's ready to sew, and I'll be showing you a few simple stitches.